Small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe he's playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, another shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3's up, and it hit at the buzzer by Ian Kongsberg. Picture perfect execution, ball that hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera.
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Young. Here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe he's playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, they got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition threes up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoingsberg. Picture perfect execution, ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera.
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this
that when Lamar
We would
Jackson
like to thank the following
starting
sponsors
quarterback
for making this
for the
broadcast
Baltimore
possible.
Ravens, they're 45-16.
Okay.
Then if you
45
have to
and
go
16.
up to $150 million guaranteed, so be it.
Okay. 150 guaranteed with you know, up where
160
the contract can go up to 250. With,
Russell's at 124.
Okay.
Kyler's at 103.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's at 100.
Okay, those sort of
Still.
deals, but from what I'm understanding, and tell me if you're reading something differently, that he wanted the 250 guaranteed, right? That I wouldn't have a problem with the 120 ish. You're telling me what, a 5-year deal at 250 or whatever it is, and 100 million is guaranteed or 125 is guaranteed.
So that would be what they actually offered him.
What is?
The reports are that it was a 250 6-year contract, about
250
$130 million guaranteed.
It's pretty. I mean, so the guaranteed money you just told me is more guaranteed money than Josh Allen, than Kyler Murray, than Russell Wilson, right? Tell me what's wrong with that offer.
Pretty good offer.
It's just
And
not.
it's finding the balance now of because of what Cleveland did. It's
Yeah.
You're gonna have
Yes.
teams and players headbutting each other. You're trying to find where to fall into this market, and that's the challenge. And that's why everyone's upset at Cleveland. But if you're players, you're like, what's so wrong with this? Like, we give us the most guaranteed money possible, because Lamar Jackson is finding out how quickly things change, and that's why I do it. And it's a risk for both parties involved.
Yeah, I get it. I and again, I would fight for everything that I could get to, but from the player standpoint, it's hard to say Deshaun Watson isn't the new market, right? And the team is going, it's not. Like, nobody's doing that. Well, they did. Well, we're not. Well, that's what I want. Well, okay. So should he get more than Josh Allen? Do you think he's better than Josh Allen?
I don't think he's better than Josh Allen.
Should he get more than Mahomes? Should he get more than... Where do you slot him?
I think the question is, how do they evolve these NFL contracts?
Yeah.
Because I know it's a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
But really, like, most part, people don't get, like, a lot of these outside of a franchise player, which people freak out about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's power to these NFL teams because they don't owe you money. That's why you have to fight for everything guaranteed in the contract, because once they cut you, you're done.
Understood.
It's not the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not Major League Baseball.
And if he's only going to make $130
and that's the league
million,
we think is rolling in all the money all the time.
Yeah.
That's why these players
But they got the
doing
biggest rosters, right? They got the biggest rosters. They got the most people to pay. And if he's only making $130 million, I mean, can we be real? Is that like an insane amount of money guaranteed?
It is, and I think some of this too is, has he totally stopped? And is in terms of like negotiating and all that, and is this just something out of nothing because we're trying to read all the tea leaves with a frustrated coach, Lamar Jackson not playing, and then thinking, well, is he pushing himself back? Or is he kind of taking the easy way at this point with everything that's going on?
Yeah, and I don't really answer that. I would tell you that what you just told me does not support the narrative that the Ravens did not try to get this done. That what you just told me is they offered him a beyond competitive contract. It wasn't Deshaun Watson, but it was in relation to everybody else. It was a fair, very competitive, very fair contract. Do you disagree with that?
No.
And so when I hear the narrative, they should have got it done and it's all on the team. It's not all on the team. It's just not. And so here we are, playoff game. Is he going to play? And is this part of the negotiation? We got a lot to do today. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us. That's the 377 Brewery Hotline, 505-246-0610. Your emails will come in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, it's _JJ Buck, or at Part-Time Bro. You can hit A-Marie there as well. Watch the show. Facebook, the OD and the AM. That's where Adrian's producing. We are up on Comcast Channel 26 now as well. And you can send a text, 505-246-0610. 8:30 this morning, Sebastian Noel's going to be with us from ProView Networks. We are going to talk high school hoops. Basketball is lighting it up, and there's some really fun stuff going on there. We got a ton of NBA to talk about. There were great performances in the league last night. I want to continue through this. Aggie football schedule is out. We're going to take a look at how do you feel about a rivalry on a Wednesday night? Welcome to the new Conference USA. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Makes a little sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why
KNML.
How you liking games on the weekend? Huh? How you liking games on a Wednesday? How's that feel for you? How you like a rivalry game on a Wednesday? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. A. Marie, good morning to you, by the way.
Oh, good morning.
How you living back there?
Living large,
All
living
right.
great.
Good. Hey, you're not doing, are you doing watch parties for road football games too?
We're going to work on that. Right now, they're just the home games.
Okay. Just curious. Somebody asked me that. All right. New Mexico State's first year in Conference USA next season. And Conference USA released their full schedule, and so did New Mexico State. And so a couple of things. You remember last football season, JJ, came out when Conference USA announced their new television package that their November games were going to be midweek games, right? And that it was all going to be television stuff, and that was how that was going to be. So the Aggie schedule came out, and they're going to play 13 games. They're going to go to Hawaii. It's a schedule that you look at and you say, wow, for a team that just won 7 games, won a bowl game, and it's manageable, right? They'll play at Auburn for that SEC. What do you call that SEC week in late October where they play SEC all backs down and plays New Mexico State?
SEC bye week?
Beatdown week? Yeah.
BUY week.
BUY week, yeah. So they'll get that. But their non-conference is Massachusetts at home, UMass, Western Illinois at home, at New Mexico, at Hawaii. You figure it's manageable, right? I'm not telling you they win them all. That's not what I said.
And you got to win 7.
And you got to win 7. You do have to win 7. You will play your conference games, your first conference game at Liberty on September 9th. And then when you hit November, you're going to start playing a bunch of games. I mean, October, where you're going to start playing a lot of games on Wednesday, including the rivalry game against UTEP. And I was hoping that the league might work with them and just realize, wow, that's kind of a big deal. And it's a big gate for both teams. But now that it's just another league game, it will be on a Wednesday night in El Paso. And it's going to be interesting to see what that does to that rivalry now that it's a league game.
I don't think it's going to hurt the rivalry. Probably actually amp it up at times.
You think so? On a Wednesday night?
Being a league game. It's just that it hit on a Wednesday. It's a bummer for the fans because that's going to have a hit.
Yeah.
So it affects the attendance part of it, but I think you could probably down the line see some games that have a little more oomph to them. If you match up with UTEP later in the season, playing for bowl eligibility, playing for race in the Conference USA standings, and the Aggies do take the hit because the Lobos and UTEP game both on the road this year. It's just a missed gate for them.
And that's another thing that came in, and it's going to be hard to get that one back on schedule, right? It used to be that they would get one at home, one on the road, and now that Conference USA has taken that over, they're not going to. I think it's going to be each year they get them both at home or both on the road. I don't see that rotating unless New Mexico wants to say, all right, well let's take it. Or I just don't see it happening. They're going to rotate that as league games, and so they're going to both be on the road. Your schedule in October for New Mexico State football: Thursday, October 5, home against FIU. Wednesday, October 11, home against Sam Houston State. League games. Wednesday, October 18th. Wednesday, road game. On the road at UTEP. Tuesday, October 24 at Louisiana Tech. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Get used to the new Conference USA, boys and girls. That's what it is. Aggie fan, how do you feel about that? I don't know how I feel about it. I know I'll watch games. I know that I've got something to watch on a Tuesday night.
And I'm pretty sure that when they're playing on a Wednesday and Tuesdays, those are always on the TV because that's why they're the
100%.
So getting that televised game.
Yeah, no, 100% they're on TV, which is why they're doing that. It's going to kind of screw up, play around with our little schedule with Jerry a little bit. I think we may have to change Wednesdays, or I'm sorry, October's off of Tuesdays and maybe go on Fridays or something with Jerry, or Mondays, or I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go. It's probably the biggest problem they've got, huh? It's probably number one on the priority.
We probably should have talked
Jerry
Conference
Kill coming out with
USA
the
and
opening
hey,
drive. I know.
Do you understand what we got going on?
Yeah. So I'm looking at this two ways. I'm looking at it competitively, and I say, okay, if you're looking at bowl eligibility, there's a lot of opportunity there, isn't there? You get your road games in league play are at Louisiana Tech, at UTEP, and at Liberty, and at Western Kentucky. You get home games against Jacksonville State, Middle, who won a bowl game, Middle Tennessee, Sam Houston State. Is that it? 1, 2, 3. You get 3 league home games. 1, 2, 3. That's it. All right. You like it?
There's 4.
Is there 4? Who's the 4th?
FIU.
Yes, it is. FIU. 4 home games. All right. FIU, Sam Houston State, Middle Tennessee, and Jacksonville State. I mean, if you're looking at bowl eligibility and telling me that they're getting better and they're coming off a bowl season, I look at it and say that's a schedule that can get you to bowl eligibility, right?
They can.
They're
going to sit there and say, "Why? We just won at Liberty last year. Let's go out and start 4-0."
You won at Liberty. You won at UMass last year. Western Illinois is a FCS school. You beat both New Mexico and Hawaii at home last year, right? You're looking at it and saying And if it comes down to Jacksonville State, last game of the year, a team that's transitioning, you like it. Aggie fan, where are you with having to play all the whole, get used to it now. This is going to be that way for a minute. That's your television deal for the next bunch of years. October is weekday games, not Fridays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games. Short weeks, you're going to play on a Wednesday, then you're going to play on a Tuesday. You're playing on a Thursday, then the next week on a Wednesday. You got short weeks as well. Short weeks of prep. I'm going to hear, well, they have a long week. How come they went from Wednesday to Thursday? Okay. That's how it is, man. The MAC gets Novembers and you get Octobers. You all right with it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right.
No, it's a challenge because you would like to see, if you're New Mexico State, what kind of buzz, what kind of pickup you'd get if you had a couple more conference Saturday games in there, coming off winning the bowl game last year, coming off all the excitement. But it's also, you have a conference now.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be in Conference USA. This is what comes with it.
This is what you get. This is what you get. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I'm curious, Aggie fan, where you are with that, and how do you feel about that, and all those games. I think the exposure is good. I think people will watch. I think more people will watch a game like that on a Tuesday or Wednesday than getting lost on the Saturday. You'll watch on Saturday as a fan of your team, but more people will watch your team on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that's the whole point of Conference USA, what they're doing. Right? You watch Maction. You watch Fun Belt. Would you watch any of those games on a Saturday as opposed to any of the other stuff you're watching? You never would you? You'll watch Ohio play Miami of Ohio. You'll watch Bowling Green play Toledo on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. But would you ever flip that game on a Saturday?
They'd get lost.
Then that's the whole point. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we return, some great stuff in the NBA last night. Steph Curry was back. How did that go? I'll let you know what it meant for him and for the Dubs, because it was a long time coming to get this generation's best shooter back on the floor. IPS Watch is my home, International Protective Service, and I strongly suggest you give them a call as well for security for your home or for your business. They are affordable private security with highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols. You see them all around town. I know you do, because their vehicles are everywhere. I see them in front of my house every day. Whether it's when I'm home or when I'm not home on the cameras or when I'm traveling, they come by and pick up newspaper, mail, packages that are left there. If it's garbage day, they'll roll the cans to the curb and back. They give your home that lived-in look and make sure that the good guys are watching your home, not the bad guys. You know that the property crime numbers are on the increase. You know that the officer shortage continues to be an issue. That's why I called IPS years ago, to watch my home, to protect my family, protect what I've worked hard to build. And something that I think interests you as well. Give them a call, see what they can do for you. IPS's phone number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers, They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color.
All right, so you got football scheduled in for next year. When does the Mountain West normally do theirs? So it's a little while from now, right? Yeah, it's a little after this. But it's there for you at 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. The Conference USA schedule's out, and it's different. All right, so Steph Curry was back yesterday. He'd been out for a while. Headed into the game, the Warriors were pretty sure that it would be just what they needed. The Warriors are scuffling a bit. They had their best player back, their starting lineup. It was whole for the first time since all the way back to December 3rd. They were playing the Phoenix Suns. Suns were scuffling a little bit undermanned. Warriors lose last night, 125-113 to the Suns, 24 for Steph in his return. Curry missed 11 games. He was injured back on the 14th of December. He had a shooting sleeve on his left arm. I don't know if that's different than any other sleeve. From his shoulder down to his wrist. And he said he felt okay. I think it takes a minute to get everything back. Look, I kept telling you, and maybe by mid-February, if they're still scuffling, maybe I'm concerned a little bit about the Warriors. I still think they're going to be okay.
You have to, because they're in 8th place right now. The goal for any of these teams is to get to the top 6, to avoid having to play a few extra games in the NBA play-in tournament. And the Warriors right now, only a game back of 6th place. That's key. We're not looking at Golden State right now as being a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. And I say go on a crazier run. The focus for them, get top 6, find your rhythm late in the season, and the pieces are there. There's zero reason to panic with the Golden State Warriors.
All right, because I'm hearing a lot of panic, and I feel the same way about that. He's got the shoulder injury, assuming he's healthy, right? I mean, that's the big key. Assuming he comes back, assuming he's healthy, assuming he's fine, I think they're fine.
A good thing for Golden State is no one is playing good defense in the NBA this season, because they're one of the teams. It's only a point, but you look and there's red by their name. It means they're negative in the point differential. Usually, even when the Warriors have been at their best, we know it's the Splash Brothers, we know it's the offense, but they've been a good defensive team. That's what they'll have to figure out: is can they be competitive enough defensively? Because the offense is going to be fine.
Check out Nikola Jokic last night. Nuggets beat the Lakers last night. Jokic with his 11th triple-double this season. But that wasn't just the triple-double. He didn't go off for crazy points last night. In fact, he only had 14 points last night. But he had a 100% shooting percentage from the field. 5 of 5 on the night, becoming the first player in NBA history to record a stat line of 10-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 15-plus assists whilst going perfect from the field. First time that has ever happened. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 16 assists. So he doesn't just have to score to dominate the game. Nikola Jokic, I watched, and I'm not going to tell you I watch a ton of Nuggets basketball, but every time I watch Nuggets basketball, he amazes me with how good he is. And I have to remind myself how good he is because I listen sometimes to some of the talking heads back east who do not know anything exists west of the Mississippi and who does not know, certainly in the mountain time zone, that there is anything but rocks, as I was once told. Ain't nothing lived there but rocks. That's what I was told, straight to my face. Well, rocks and Nikola Jokic live out in the mountain time zone. And I am amazed every time I watch him at not just how good. I mean, yeah, he's really good. How complete he is, how good of a passer he is, how aware he is, how much he defends. Like, he is the most underappreciated great player, superstar in that league. And in that league in a long time. Now, you say underappreciated. Jeff, he's won 2 MVPs. I kind of get it.
People don't want to give him credit for that.
They don't.
Because he hasn't won a championship yet.
Yeah.
So he can't be an MVP.
But somehow Embiid's way better?
Yeah, Embiid does not run circles around Nikola Jokic. Embiid, I think he's a little bit better defensively, but like that's the when you take a step back and you look at the NBA right now, it is in an amazing place with its top level talent,
with its superstars.
Because it's like, where do you stop that line right now? And that's what is so entertaining. And when people finally start tuning in, when they start looking at these storylines, you're like, wait a second, because Jokic is right there with Giannis, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid. Well, you got John Morant. Oh, you got Jason Tatum. And it's just like you go on and on.
You just almost
hit
every roster now, right? And every roster's almost got some. I mean, if you go through the West, and Minnesota's got great young talent, Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell, and what the Warriors have, and when Kawhi gets healthy, and LeBron's playing at the top of his game, and everything that Phoenix has. Sacramento's got terrific young players. De'Aaron Fox is spectacular. Memphis, I mean, please don't sleep on Memphis. They might be the best team in the NBA. New Orleans has 2 or 3 great players. And that's just in the West. Go out east. Almost every roster has got one of those guys where you look at it and say, okay, that might be the next one. Picking an all-star team is hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, the individual talent is spectacular. Now, how many great teams are there? We can have a conversation. Who plays defense? We can have that conversation as well. But I every time I get a glimpse of Nikola Jokic, I'm reminded about it. And every time I listen to one of the national shows and the experts, and he, to your point, he gets so discredited. And somehow Embiid's way better, and he's stolen Embiid's MVPs. And with all due respect, what makes Embiid any better than Jokic? If you want to tell me he defends a little better, I'll listen to that. But offensively, and this taking nothing away from Joel Embiid, because he's really good. And neither one of them have won. And I'll argue that Embiid's been surrounded by a way better team, especially last year, than Jokic has.
It's part of it too is you fall into the trap when you look at Jokic, because he does not have the weight room physique.
He doesn't look the part. No. I think it's probably right.
And yet he's the most dominant player on the floor. He is a puppet master with the basketball.
Yeah, he's a terrific passer, and it's not just inside. It's from all over the floor. No, he's terrific.
And what's exciting?
Yeah,
Jamal Murray's playing. Michael Porter Jr. is
they're
playing.
nice, man.
They invested in the rotation this past offseason. The time is now for the Denver Nuggets. Get back to the Western Conference.
Kind of
Finals.
been now for a minute, but yeah.
But Jamal Murray didn't play
he didn't play last year at all. Yeah, no, I'm down.
And so now you got your squad. Go get it done.
Oh, and the Miami Heat were 40 for 40 at the free throw line yesterday. 40 for 40. I know they're free. I know there's nobody guarding you, but nobody goes 40 for 40. They needed them all to edge the Thunder yesterday. I got NFL stuff when we come back. I want to have some more conversation about that Bears situation that we talked about yesterday. It got a lot of traction yesterday, didn't it? It was Mike Tannenbaum who suggested, do the Bears trade Justin Fields for a first, a third, and maybe more, and load up on picks and go for Bryce Young?
Because the Bears general manager was asked the question.
Well, he was asked that question. How did he respond? We'll get into that. You're ringing the phones at 505-246-0610. We're going to hear what you have to say as well. New year, new resolutions. I get it, man. People make them all the time. And here we are, January 10th or maybe the 11th. How they going? Exactly. Make a resolution you can keep, one that will make you feel better, look better all year long. Schedule an appointment with Numale. Guys, Numale will help you with things like depression and weight gain, even erectile dysfunction. And for men and ladies who are dealing with hair loss, Numale has state-of-the-art options which will help you. Call Numale at 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or you can go online, Numale, Numale.com. So Numale has professionals, and they will walk you through the options. It's comfortable. You pick the best option for you to regrow hair. Platelet-rich plasma hair therapy. It uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells, deepen your hair follicle to replace hair. You regrow hair. The FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser, proven to regrow hair. NeoGraft hair transplants, which produce natural-looking results in less than a week with no linear scarring. Men and ladies, give them a call. Numale, 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or online at Numale.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudal with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot. They got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoingsberg. Picture perfect execution. Ball didn't hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball
is stolen away by Montoya. Spartans are on the break. Kalb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Kalb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Kalb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually happen. Oh, great.
H.J. Rivera with...
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that is turned up. They force another turnover. Kalb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Kalb puts it down. Brian Kalb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast.
A big weekend of football coming up. Will Lamar Jackson play? I got to believe Tua's not playing, right?
He's not playing.
No.
All right. I mean,
Skylar Thompson time.
Like we're shutting Tua down until next year,
and
maybe.
Teddy Bridgewater, something's up with his finger.
Yeah, Teddy. I was here. Teddy might play.
Yes, it's like his throwing hand.
Is that the lock money line bet? Is Buffalo? In period, there's just if there's one team that will absolutely not win, it's the Dolphins going to Buffalo, right, with a third string quarterback.
That's correct.
Right,
Yes.
of every game on the board, the lock is that one, correct?
Yes, the one I'm having the toughest with is Chargers Jaguars.
That's the 50-50 split.
That's my that's the game I'm probably not going to touch.
That's the one everybody's having a problem with. I think
Give me Jags plus 1.5 at home.
Yeah, I like that too. So that's where
like
that's where I would lean.
You want to make some money?
Yeah, that's where I would lean.
Got to
also.
attack those spreads.
Yep.
This weekend.
Edward, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good content, subject matter as always. I remember in the early 90s, Arvydas Sabonis came from Europe, and he was in the twilight of his career, and he played for the Blazers, and people were stunned by his skill set. And we've seen a myriad of European players come in and be amazing. But what we saw, had we caught his prime in the NBA, he may have been the best player in the league for some duration. That's how good he was. I think it was last week or the previous week, the Greek Freak came out and said, if you take the 5 best non-U.S. players, we would be the 5 best American players. And let me just go through this list. I told you this last year, and I still think it resonates.
Yeah.
There's only 6 superstars in the NBA. LeBron, Greek Freak, Jokic, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. Those are the only superstars. Not the guy from Phoenix, not Embiid, because he doesn't deliver on a consistent basis in the biggest moments. Those aren't superstars. There's only 6. And out of those 6, 4 are Europeans. So if you took Jokic, Embiid, by the way, Jokic might win his 3rd straight MVP, which Larry Bird did in the mid-'80s. Jokic, Embiid, the Greek Freak, Luka Doncic, and throw in the 5th player, Siakam, Fournier, or Wiggins, they would soundly beat the 5 best U.S. Americans.
It'll
that's
always
my
be
NBA
funny.
take,
It'll
but
always
real
be
quick.
funny.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, it'll always be funny. It'll always be funny.
I heard the soundbite from South Carolina last week, and I laughed with the same veracity as I have been over the past few years. That's awesome. Quickly on the college championship game, Last year, I'm a huge Cincinnati Bearcat fan because my brother-in-law played for them. He played with Urban Meyer. They were on the same team. Cincinnati was better than TCU was this year. Cincinnati couldn't make first downs against Georgia last year, and I had predicted that. And then I got fooled because Michigan and Harbaugh came in woefully unprepared and got beat in a pathetic game, right? By the way, TCU, they get in, do they not get in? They should have been the 4th seed, and we wouldn't have been we wouldn't have had to witness what we saw. Guys, and I'm not embellishing, Georgia could have beat them by 80. They scored on every possession -1. It could have been 80-0, and barring a breakdown, a defensive breakdown, they would have shut them out. Right. They had one mental lapse on defense, and they got a score. TCU was embarrassing. Now, we don't throw the whole system out the window, right? But the separation is even greater, and we fell in love with the great story, like Colin Cowherd said yesterday. But we didn't need to see that, and it was embarrassing. It was actually, and TCU struggled in their conference. They ultimately won the games, and they beat an undefeated Michigan team, and I'll give them credit for that. But it was bad, and I don't think they deserve. When you lose your conference championship game at the end of the year, they shouldn't have gotten in, and that was proof. But and then lastly, on the Baltimore Ravens running back, quarterback. I remember in the first round, my son was screaming at the New England Patriots. They had 2 first-round picks, and they're like, take him, and they didn't take him. But I think he's been kind of figured out. I know he has a great winning record, as does Jimmy Garoppolo, but they've kind of figured him out, and I could name 5 quarterbacks in the AFC, all under the age of 27, that are better than him at this point.
Who I would rather
and
have
I think
anyway.
they should move
Who I
on.
would rather have.
Absolutely.
And you would say Mahomes and Allen and Burrow and Herbert and who's the 5th?
Trevor Lawrence.
And
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Their skill set, their requisite skill set at the NFL position, I would say is better right now, current state, than Baltimore Ravens quarterback. But it's just my humble take.
And their ability, the availability thing is a deal. All right,
but you also got to compete. And if you just get caught up in thinking that, well, this guy can't be elite, we got to move on. How are you going to compete?
Yeah,
in the
what's
NFL?
your plan? Yeah. No, Edward, thanks for the call. I got some thoughts.
You're right.
I got some thoughts on what Edward said on the
Because
CFP.
you're not taking him over those guys,
right?
But he's
that's not your choice.
The bird you got in the hand.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's always easier to say, well, he's not the guy.
But where's the line?
Well, you still need to compete. You still need to win. And I think that's your challenge. It happens with Dak Prescott all the time. It's happening with Lamar Jackson. Yeah, you from a franchise perspective, you got to be smart. And there's a salary cap. There's things you have to navigate. But you're also looking at these guys and going, man, when we're out on the field, we're winning double-digit NFL games.
Yep.
And if that's a bad thing, then I don't know what else to do.
You know, it's a
NFL.
really tough position
Like-
when you're here, right? I want to hit what he said on the college football playoff. Do I think that Georgia could have scored 70 plus on them? Yeah, I do. Do I think that they were that much better than TCU? Yeah, I do. But here's what I do not agree with: TCU shouldn't have been there. That TCU didn't deserve to be there. TCU won the Big 12. TCU, and you can tell me margin of victory all day, and you're right. They and by the way, Georgia barely got by Missouri, and Missouri was a 6-6 team. And but that doesn't matter because they're in the SEC, and the SEC is the greatest thing ever. Look, the SEC at the very top. Georgia this year. Look, A&M wasn't great. Ole Miss wasn't great. Mississippi, LSU wasn't great. They had Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee was really good this year until Hendon Hooker got hurt. Okay. After that, they're a really good league. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that we're playing Division I football and you have the Power Five and the Group of Five, and that TCU team went undefeated in their league, they lost their championship game, and then they went out and, by the way, beat the Big Ten champions. By the way, did they beat the Big Ten champs? They did, right? Well, Jeff, there was a bad call. Stop it. What did the score say? You can't tell me they didn't deserve to be there. Now, I didn't want to watch that crap either. Why? Like, watching a team get the frog poop beat out of them is not fun to me either. It isn't. But to tell so to me, there's two different arguments. Is Georgia or the SEC much better, or did TCU deserve to be there? There is no argument that says Alabama should have been there instead. Alabama lost twice, didn't win their division. Well, Ohio State lost once and didn't win their division. They got in. You're right. They lost once. They lost to the team who was ranked number 2, and Alabama lost to 2 teams who weren't in the playoff. This is inarguable with the system, the way it was set up. Now, to your point, and I know you've made it next year or 2 years when we get to 12, they'll all get in and there'll be another team left out. But the argument that TCU shouldn't have been there is an invalid one as far as I'm concerned. Now, were they outclassed? Did they just get pumped? Was it embarrassing? Yeah, I didn't like that, watching it either.
TCU didn't make mistakes against Michigan. Michigan made mistakes. That's part of playing the game.
Win a football game.
You could, if you want to sit and say, well, Michigan's a better football team. Okay, they weren't that day. There's a reason you play it out. There's a reason that playoffs is a thing in the United States. We go through the motions because the best team doesn't always win. It's part of sport.
I'll tell you what, I've heard so much passion. This is why it should just be the SEC, and the SEC should. Well, if you want to do the SEC and everybody else, that's fine too, right? That's an option too.
And we'll find out what it looks like in 2 years.
Yeah.
When you get 3, 4.
Yep, you're going to get 3 or 4, and you are going to.
And they'll have their opportunity to play it out.
And you are going to. Yep. All right, when we come back, there is a report out this morning on changes to the Lobo football coaching staff. I will address those reports. Actually, there's a report out about a new offensive line coach. I will tell you about that report, tell you what I know about that report, the accuracies and the inaccuracies, JJ. I haven't even told you about this yet. But there's some changes on the offensive coaching staff at UNM for UNM football, and I will tell you what that is next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudal with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
The perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, another shot up in 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoingsberg. Picture perfect execution. Ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera.
think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force
one,
another turnover. Kalb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Kalb puts it down. Brian Kalb with the dunk in transition.
Marie Castillo and J.J. Block.
All right, going to get back into some of the college football talk, the CFP and the NFL here in a minute. But there's a story out this morning on Football Scoop, and a few of you have sent this to me, so I know many of you have seen it already, about coaching changes on the offensive staff at the University of New Mexico. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, and Marie. Adrian's producing on TV. And so Football Scoop this morning, it's a John Bryce story, says that Joe Scelfo is expected to join the UNM football staff as the offensive line coach, which means that Jason Lensmeyer's out. And there's been, JJ, you and I have heard this for probably 3 to 4 to 5 weeks now. But Jason Lensmeyer, the former Lobo great, and had a terrific first run as offensive line coach, it was going to be out, and there will be a new offensive line coach. Scelfo was the offensive line coach and running game coordinator at Gardner-Webb, and Gardner-Webb got to the football championship subdivision playoffs. So here's what I know. The report is kind of right, but not right. Joe Scelfo is going to join the Lobo staff, but he will be the tight ends coach. And so you're saying, well, then what does that mean? Who's the offensive line coach? So the Football Scoop story is right in regards to Scelfo will join the UNM staff, but he will be the tight ends coach. From what I'm hearing is Cameron Blankenship is going to come over from UAB with the new offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent, and be the offensive line coach. So there is a shakeup on the offensive staff. You have a new offensive coordinator. You have a new offensive line coach who, from what I understand, will be Cameron Blankenship, coming from UAB, where they just went to that bowl game, won the Bahamas Bowl. And he comes over with the new offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent, and that Joe Scelfo will be the new tight ends coach, not as that report from Football Scoop says, will be the offensive line coach. So again, new offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent, who was with us last week. Joe Scelfo, mentioned in that story, will be the new tight ends coach, and Cameron Blankenship is going to come over from UAB and be the new offensive line coach. So a total shakeup, from what I understand, JJ. They've got a lot of new names and a lot of new players committed offensively, and they're excited about kind of turning over that roster on the offensive side and reinventing what they do offensively.
That was the focus of this offseason.
Yeah, had to be.
Brennan OC got a lot of buzz around Brian Vincent. I know they're super excited about some of the immediate impact players that you're bringing in, and they have to. You can't look at this and say, hey, our offense is 3 to 4 years. It doesn't. It has now. As you have to figure out a way to hit the ground running offensively. I know they were really excited this past weekend with the recruits that they had in town. Brought them to the Lobo basketball game, just trying to get the buzz, the excitement around Lobo athletics. And then we'll see over the next few days, because there's still a lot of players in that portal still looking for destinations, who they can add to the roster.
All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in on that. Wayne, good morning to you. Hello, Wayne.
Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, how are you guys doing? I was actually, I wanted to chime in on the national championship too, but I agree with you guys. I mean, coaching has a huge impact on how to utilize your athletes, right? And if you get some guys who have some familiarity with the program, that's even better for UNM. But I mean, you still have to coach talent, and talent has to be there too. And I think it's always been UNM's problem is just recruiting. That's why I'm kind of excited to see how Colorado does, getting Prime over there, coaching, especially being a Cowboys fan. But when it comes to the national championship, TCU beat Michigan, who beat Ohio State, who took Georgia to the end to win. So, I mean, they have the potential to win, but it's almost like when sports is definitely a mental game too, right? And Georgia was definitely probably more of the talented team, but when you start getting overwhelmed right away, especially on a big stage, the game can easily get ahead of you, especially with a team that's more talented. There's a couple of times, even when I was coaching youth, where we played an older team, right? And we kind of were in it initially, and the other team just gets ahead and it gets overwhelmed because the kids already know that they're an older team, and when the lead gets ahead of us, then the kids get mental, and just the game gets away from you because you already know that they're already the bigger, faster, older kids. And then when you fall behind, then you start pressing, you get out of character, and it gets out of hand, right? And I think that's most likely what happened with TCU is that, yeah, they were playing a talented team. They probably could have competed better, but as soon as the game started getting a little out of hand, they did a lot of things more out of character and held the ball longer, trying to get things more deep, and it affected the pass rush. And then their game plan just kind of went out of hand. And I think that's kind of what happened with TCU. I think if the game didn't fall behind right away and they didn't make some of the mistakes with interceptions from the beginning of the game, then they wouldn't have been so overwhelmed by more of a talented team. I think they would have been more competitive. But I mean, we never know. But I think it has a lot to do with mentality and the team being more talented, and then realizing, oh wow, they are really a lot much better, and then trying to do things out of character. It happens with anything we do, right? If we fall behind in a thing that we could probably be competitive with, but then realize, okay, this is a better team, and now we're going to have to do things out of character, and it just gets out of hand. And I agree with you, Jeff. I don't think that they should just wash out any of the other teams that are not quote unquote the Big Five or whatever. I mean, technically, Big 12 is considered one of the Big Five schools, so I still think they should still get credit. But I think SEC has been dominant, but I think I do like the fact that there's opportunities for other people to take a shot at SEC. Obviously, this was a bad outing for the other schools, but I don't think that it should be turned away and forgotten. I think you're right. TCU earned it because they beat the team who took that Georgia team to the end to go. So there was a capability for them to be competitive. I just think it just got out of hand, and they were more of a talented team. But I'm looking forward to this next year of college football because I think there's going to be a lot more shakeups and rosters and people go in. And I think pretty soon when they start paying, you're going to start seeing a lot more have and have-nots with that too. But I think it's going to be based on management, how you manage that salary when you start playing these players, and maybe some even like UNM could still compete as long as they manage the right, pay the right players and manage that money properly. So I think it has to be more of a business more than anything else now, and how you manage that business is what's going to be more of the successful teams. But
all right,
I just want to chime in on that. You guys have a good week, man.
All right, so there's a couple things there, and that's really, really, really good. So let me hit you with a few things here. He's right. TCU beat Michigan, who beat Ohio State, who damn near beat Georgia, and then Georgia blew TCU out of the water. You know what makes me think, as we go forward with this, I wonder, do teams like TCU, maybe even a Cincinnati, maybe even a Pac-12 champ, have one game in them? But if you don't get the bye, you're going to have to win 4 games to win a national championship. How many of these teams have? I mean, somebody's going to win it. Obviously, somebody's going to win the 4 games. Somebody's going to survive the tournament. Is that too much? Would a TCU have 4 elite games in them against elite competition? And so you're saying, Jeff, this is how we're going to find a real champion. And you might be right. Right? That's where these deep Georgia teams, these deep Alabama teams, I don't know. I mean, is Ohio State, Michigan deep enough for that? Right? Because what I'm hearing from him is, because he's not wrong, man. TCU beat Michigan, who beat Ohio State, who damn near beat that Georgia team that we thought was invincible 2 nights ago. And then, by
the answer is yes.
TCU
you're
didn't
not
look like
playing Georgia every game.
Yeah.
If you have one of your great games, like if Ohio State were to beat Georgia,
what would Ohio State look like next week?
Yeah, Ohio State versus TCU, they'd look fine.
But what if they had to play Alabama? Right?
It's a challenge. But that's what you want.
And that's how we're going to find a champion.
That's March Madness.
It is.
It's survival of the fittest, and the fittest, and he was talking about the money that's being paid. The money's there now. That's the game right now. And you just have some of the smaller schools trying to scramble and figure out where they can put theirs together. It's not about competing with Georgia. It's about competing with who you have in your conference.
right, I got interesting stuff coming in. Really interesting stuff. Let me give you the news this morning. Joe Skefflo is going to be the new tight ends coach at the University of New Mexico for football. He comes over to join this revamped offensive staff. And I know their names to you in some respect, but I'm telling you this because I think it's relatively significant, the changes that's being made on the offensive staff at UNM. There's a report out that Joe Skefflo is going to be the offensive line coach. That is inaccurate. He will be the tight ends coach, and Cameron Blankenship is going to be the new offensive line coach, replacing former Lobo great Jason Lensmeyer. So Jason Lensmeyer is out at UNM as the offensive line coach, and Cameron Blankenship is going to come over from UNM and take over that position. Getting into that, Sebastian Noel is going to join us at 8:30 this morning. We're going to talk high school hoops as well. I got more thoughts on the playoff and TCU, and I know you do as well, and I'll get you some of your conversation as we move through the morning. How's your vehicle looking? You're probably in it right now, huh? Look around. French fries, junk, crud, dust. You don't even know what that is, do you? Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing and have them detail your vehicle. It's time. This is a perfect time for it. As you start the new year, you want to feel good about everything you're doing. Feel good about getting into your vehicle. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will come to you and clean your vehicle and detail your vehicle and inside and outside and under the hood and around the rims and under the seats. And when they're done, it looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. And I did say they come to you. I don't know where they are, but they know where I am. And that's what matters. So when it's convenient and where it's convenient, they will give your vehicle that brand new feel. You're going to have that car for a while. Take care of it. Ask them about ceramic coating too. They apply it by hand. It starts at $250. Best way to protect your paint for years to come, and they offer a lifetime warranty. Also, On the Spot offers our military 10% discount. So give them a call, 505-859-2859, 505-859-2859, or online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every...
Correct the pronunciation. On the new tight ends coach, it is Scelfo, Joe Scelfo. It's spelled S-C-E-L-F-O. The C is silent. It is Scelfo. Like in the word scent, right? He's like, why is the C in there? I'm thinking of other silent C's, right? S-C-E-N-T?
Scent.
What? Is there another?
Names are tough.
They are tough.
People can't even say A. Marie.
It's on. It's on me.
What up, Anne-Marie?
I got a name I didn't learn to spell till the 10th grade, so I get it. All right, Rebel football coaching moves that are kind of surfacing this morning. There was a report in where was that? What was it? College Football Scoop? What was that? Football Scoop that said Joe Scelfo was coming to UNM to be the offensive line coach. That's accurate in the fact that he's coming to UNM, but inaccurate that he's going to coach offensive line. Scelfo's coming over from Gardner Webb. He'll be the tight ends coach. And Cameron Blankenship is going to be the new offensive line coach. He's coming over from UAB with the new offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent. So that means Jason Lensmeyer is not going to be back at UNM, the former Lobo lineman, who had a terrific first stint as a coach, as offensive line coach. Remember, he went down to New Mexico State, also was successful down at New Mexico State, and had been here the last couple of years, and he's been replaced. And Cameron Blankenship is going to be the new offensive line coach at UNM. And from what I'm hearing, JJ, they've got a lot of commits that they're excited about, that they've kind of flipping the roster on the offensive side. And as you said, this was a priority. It had to be a priority. It had to be something that they were going to do. And it certainly feels like there's going to be a brand new look and feel. And look, Danny knows it. You know it. Everybody, it had to be a brand new look and feel.
There were two teams. It was UMass and New Mexico. And he said, all right, who do you think is worse offensively? That was the only debate last season.
That's a bad debate. I mean, it is. It's just, you don't need to be in that debate. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We've had a lot of conversation on the college football playoff. Hey, Marie, where are you on this? Are you excited about the expanded playoff? Do you think, and I'll recircle this. I'm looking forward to it because it's what we've got, and I love college football. I think the 4 worked. I think the 4 has worked every year. I think that it's been rare in the 8 years or 10 years or whatever it is that we've done the 4-team college football playoff that we haven't gotten the right 4 teams. And the right 4 teams got into the playoff. They played it off. They kind of played it off in conference championship games to get into the playoffs, right? But now that we're here and that we're going to go expand after one more year of this format, like, okay, I'm in. I'll buy it. I want to see it. I'm not sold that that's what college football needs to go to 12. I thought 8 would have been fine. But what do you think? I mean,
it's just more college football, which is fun for all of us. But this is the thing. It's just bad. I guess just people are looking at what happened between TCU and Georgia. So they're like, oh, we don't need this. More teams don't need to get in. But TCU deserve to be there. And I think it's actually going to make it more exciting and more fun because
there's more games.
More games.
Yeah.
And more probably underdog Cinderella stories. And it's just the blowout. Blowouts happen, though. It's happened every handful of years. And
not to that
was
proportion.
Really bad. Yeah.
I saw somewhere yesterday that was the biggest blowout in any bowl game ever.
Yeah, the last one was Alabama Ohio State by 30.
Well, but any bowl like Purdue got beat 63-7 by LSU.
Both happened.
And they both happened in the last week and a half. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you, sometimes things are an anomaly, not a trend.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be great.
So,
it's gonna be more college football.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Yes, there will be
more opportunity.
There will be
teams,
more college football. There will be more opportunities.
A platform for more teams to.
Yeah.
Exposure.
And again,
it's gonna be very interesting.
I'm going to reserve judgment. I was good with 4. I'd have been good with 8. I think 12 is too much. I do. But that's I mean, what does too much mean? More teams getting opportunity. And Jeff, you always say, who are you to deny
More
teams
players.
opportunity? That's fair. So that's where we are. I think I don't know that I think I need teams getting a bye is my point. So one team's going to have you're going to have to win 4, they're going to have to win 3. Well, they earned that because they're the top 4. Okay. You compared it to the NCAA tournament. I mean, aside from the teams who play the first 4, those teams are never going to win.
What's going to be based off your record?
Well, it's going to be the same system, right? The same ranking.
Yep.
And so the highest ranked Group of 5 champion,
they earned it,
is going to get in.
Yeah.
And seated within that 12. Right?
I think we're going to see the same type of teams. I don't think it's going to drastically change. I just think there's going to be more football games and more opportunity for teams.
Okay. All right.
And I'm fine with the top 4 getting a bye in there.
I'm sure people will be upset, just like they're upset at how many bowls there are.
Because you want to.
Right.
There needs to be emphasis on still going undefeated. I like the fact that there's more meaning to winning a conference, because if you're going to say, hey, you be in a conference, we have all these conferences, put some more emphasis back on that. And if right now I think it's just the first round sites, but if you could go to the first 2 rounds with home games, that's a game changer, because that's an environment that you don't get when we're talking about football and basketball when it comes to the postseason tournaments. But a first round playoff game, Alabama hosting USC.
Yeah, that's what it would have been.
Anything like that, it would have been phenomenal atmosphere. And I think that is the game-changing piece to it. Just get something that we've never seen before in college football.
So here's what you would have had if we did it that way. If it was based on this year's final CFP rankings, your top 4 teams, Georgia, TCU, Michigan, and Ohio State, would have got a bye. And then these on-campus games, and that's what they would be, right? At this point, are we certain they're on-campus games? Or are we sure they're not going to be bowl games? Because I guess I'm not sure that they're not going to be bowl games. Has that been determined?
I think the first round games, but here's the thing, it has to be the first 2 rounds.
Because the first 2 rounds are going to be on campus.
They should be on campus.
Okay.
Because if I'm a top 4 team, I'm like, why do I have to play in a bowl game before we get to the semifinals?
Because that's the system. I mean,
that's not the system.
Well, if it is the system, if that
it shouldn't be.
Yeah. So
because right now the college football playoff, those semifinals, you can still do that. Say if you want to play your bowl as a CFP semifinal, but if I'm one of those top 4, I want a playoff home game just like the team before me would get.
All right. So here's what you would have gotten: first round game, USC at Alabama. All right. I think everybody's up for that. But I'm just going to tell you again, I've seen USC's defense. That would have been a 40-something to something team game. Do you disagree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
For 40-something, 20-something? How's SC stopping Alabama's offense?
I think SC could score with them.
Yeah.
Maybe. They struggle. What did they score on Tulane? Yeah, they put numbers up on Tulane. Florida State at Tennessee. Tennessee without Hendon Hooker, but, I mean, that would have been interesting because you just don't know where that's going. The Rose Bowl would have been played in Happy Valley, Utah at Penn State. Tulane at Washington. Tulane at Washington actually interests me, but Washington would have been in. So you'd have had 3 Pac-12 teams in. You'd have had 4 SEC teams in. 3 Big Ten teams in. 1 Big 12 team. That's not right. See, this isn't right. The ACC's got to be represented in here. Clemson had to get in. So Clemson would have knocked SC out. SC wouldn't have gone in. Clemson would have been at Alabama that first game. Right? As a conference champion. They'd have gotten in. And SC would not. Boy, see, there's your first country. Well, we're ranked 12th and they're ranked 13th. Yep, they're the conference champion. USC's out. Clemson's in. You get Clemson, Alabama in the first round. Everybody's going, whoa. Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban. Right? Because SC would have been out, right? Clemson you have to have an ACC team. ACC champion. Correct? And actually, Kansas State would have to be in there as a conference champion. So that means who else is out? Florida State's out. Okay. So Let me correct this. Move Clemson up. Clemson would have played Tennessee. Yeah, but those are the kind of matches you would have got.
Probably.
So Kansas State and Clemson would have been in as conference champions, right? Because Utah, Kansas State, Clemson, Georgia, and Michigan get the automatics as well as Tulane. That's what you would have got. Look, I'm down. I'm in. I'm looking forward to it. I'm watching it. I don't know that because you got a blowout the other day, in any way you've got some sort of a trend, and that means college football's broken, and I just don't buy it. I don't. I think everything's going to be just fine. All right, 505-246-0610. We're going to talk to Sebastian Noel when we come back, get into some high school stuff, and catch up with the voice of the people. I want to let you know about a jewelry store that I found that is different than everything else in a great way. And so when you are ready to finally stop introducing her as your girlfriend and introduce her as your wife and be proud of what you put on her finger, go to John Thomas Jewelers. John Thomas Jewelers is a state-of-the-art, beautiful design facility. They make more custom jewelry in a week than most jewelers do in a year. And here's the deal. And I was there and I looked at it and he showed me how it works. If you can dream it, they can make it. Find them on the third floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana. It's just one block south of Manal. You're going to walk them there, go up to the third floor, and you're going to realize why they're the best jeweler in Albuquerque for years running now, why they're the only 5-star Google-rated jeweler in the state, why they're the only master IJO certified jeweler in Albuquerque, because they make custom, beautiful, beautiful pieces. They are the bridal leader. This isn't some superstore you're going to walk into where you got to pick something out of a case. No, they're going to pull out some drawers for you. Then you're going to say, I want that. I like that band. Let's put that stone in there. What would another stone? Okay, and they'll put it together for you right there, and then they'll make the ring for you. It's beyond amazing. They're the only 3D capable laser engraver in the state. Go see John Thomas Jewelers when you're ready to make her your wife and not your girlfriend anymore. Go see John Thomas Jewelers. I was thoroughly impressed. I now have a jeweler. It's John Thomas Jeweler, on-site, state-of-the-art repair and design facility. You can take grandma's diamond ring. Just stay right there. Doesn't get shipped out to wherever it is. It's all done right there on site. Visit them. John Thomas Jeweler, third floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, one block south of Manal. If you can dream it, they can make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school hoops are hooping. I mean, right in the midst of some really good stuff. We had a terrific one earlier this week, and they keep coming. So opening drive, Jeff Sabieta, J.J. Buck. We welcome back to the program, the voice of the people, the voice of ProView Networks. He is Sebastian Noel. Good day, sir. How you living?
Good, man. This is my favorite time right after the Metro tournament. 1 or 2 more games before districts start. This is where teams are, usually like to start peaking is right now when district starts.
Well, we got something really special this week. The Highland Del Norte game was a rematch of the state 4A final last year. And you got the number 1 ranked 4A team in the state with a 9-6 record, which is bizarre, right? Because they've been playing so much different competition in Highland. Highland beats Del Norte 63-57. Shane Dumas Sanchez goes out and he came in averaging 34.5 points a game. And you knew what you were watching. That was kind of one of the premier games on the schedule all year in the Metro, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it kind of lived up to its billing. Like the crowd was surprising. Not a lot of Highland students, but the last time they played, the gym was pretty packed. But I mean, Highland's pretty impressive, Jeff. I think they can shoot it really well. They run the offense occasionally. They get the best shot. They pass up good shots for great shots, and when they get hot, which they did in that first half last night, they're really hard to beat. Del Norte on the other side, it's kind of a Shane. You know what you're going to get out of Shane is what do you get from everyone else?
We got 31 out of Shane, but he only had 5 in the fourth quarter.
Right, and I think what I saw alarming to me as a Del Norte guy is I'm starting to see the mental fatigue and the frustration set in with him. I think knowing that he has to be that guy, knowing that he has to score. Last year when he had a running mate with Judah Casas there, a lot of smiling and high fives, right? And this year you're starting to see, I think, the grind of he knows that I got to score 35 a night for my team to be in this. And so, when things don't go great, when there's some turnovers, when there's some missed shots and stuff, he's starting to feel it. I mean, and then take nothing away from Shane because he's a great player, but I think that's got to be hard, knowing that you gotta hit your average of 35 just to keep your team in it.
Let me ask you this, and because I get asked this probably 3 times a week, and I haven't got there to see him yet. How good is Shane Dumas Sanchez? Is he a Division I player? Is he too small? I know he scores 30-something points a night, and he takes a lot of shots. How good is he?
Well, I mean, he's obviously the leading scorer in the state of New Mexico. He can score in a variety of ways. He can hit 3. He's a very, very hard to guard. He knows where the defender is at all times, so he gets to the foul line quite a lot. I think the best part of his game, I think, is when he just gets near the painted area and throws up floaters because he knows he is undersized, but he's developed that part of his game. I think, that part of his game is the strongest. So he's going to be playing college at the next level. Now, I don't think I'm the one to judge whether that's at D1 or not, but I mean, I know Shane works incredibly hard, and that 35 points a game he's averaging is not an accident.
Sebastian, they did wrap up, the Metro Basketball Championships this past weekend. It's slicking down, and you have Volcano Vista, Sandia going at it in the boys' championship. Sandia down 17 points, comes back, makes it a 3-point game in the end. How did that game wrap up, and what did you see out of both those teams?
Oh, man, that was one of the most furious comebacks I have ever seen. Like you said, that lead gets to 17, and it's getting close to 7 o'clock-ish, and that full gym starts emptying out a little bit. Everyone's going to the Lobo game that Saturday night, and here come the Matadors, with their defense, and then they just get hot. When they get hot, I used to call it a big 4, but with the way Thomas Adams is playing now, you really have to guard all 5 of their guys, and they just start hitting threes and chipping away, and Volcano uncharacteristically turned it over a couple of times. They couldn't really go into a stall-out or anything. They're just too good at guarding. A couple of head-scratching no calls down the stretch on some and ones and an intentional foul. That was a little bit of a weird one, and that could have gone either way. I think Sandia has to feel good leaving that game like, hey, we can beat these guys. We haven't put it together yet, but they've all been tight games. But with that being said, Volcano Vista, that's something else. Couple that result in the Metro Championship with what they did to Los Lunas last night, beating them by 40. That's a juggernaut.
What were some of your takeaways from the Metro tournament? And as we're just starting to get into the games after it, but from the tournament overall that stood out to you, we'll start with the boys' side.
Well, like I just said, Volcano, can anyone other than Sandia make an honest claim that they could hang with Volcano Vista? I think the Volcano just keeps getting better and better. The margin of victory keeps growing. Their confidence keeps growing, and I think other teams are starting to see that we're not in that class.
And Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks, joining us. And we saw on the girls' side, Hobbs, they got 5 sophomores out there on the floor. They win the Albuquerque Metro Championship on the girls' side, beating Sandia. What were your takeaways from that side of the bracket and what we saw from some of the girls' teams?
I think I could start to make the case that Hobbs is the clear favorite for the championship when we get to state. I think Sandia, I think this is a really important tournament for Sandia. I thought that once they could overcome the mental hurdle of beating Volcano Vista, I was like, okay, this is a step. Let's see, because this is a young Sandia team, right? The future is very bright. And I think the championship against Hobbs, if we're being honest, I don't think Sandia played very well. They tightened up a little bit, didn't share the ball very well, and Hobbs kind of exposed that. Hobbs is a complete team. They share the ball, they get good shots, and more importantly, they get second, third, and fourth looks. That's always what Hobbs does. Hobbs doesn't shoot at a great percentage. You're never gonna leave the gym saying, "Wow, that team can shoot." But they get 2, 3, 4 looks every offensive possession, and that's big time. I think Sandia has to go back to the drawing board. Okay, what do we do to win some of these really, really big games? Because Sandia is so talented. They're going to breeze through the first round. They're going to breeze through the second round. They're going to run a lot of teams out of the gym. But if they are faced with a huge matchup, either against the Volcano Vista again or against the Hobbs, how can they overcome that hurdle and share the ball and get good shots? So Sandia, still question marks. I thought I would know more about Sandia. The other thing is Farmington, who wasn't in that tournament. That's got to be the other team that you're looking out for when it comes to state on the girls' side.
All right, what are we watching for on ProView Networks? How do people find you?
Well, you could go to our YouTube page. Just go to ProView Networks. I have an interview on my show, Local Focus, this week with Volcano's Kenyon Aguino, that's drawn a lot of attention. Kenyon probably top 2 player in the state, right? He's only a sophomore, and so he's got a pretty interesting background, pretty interesting story. So, and then any other games we have scheduled, always on our website, ProViewNetworks.com.
Catch up with you next week. I gotta find you, know where your schedule is, so I know which big games to go to every night. I'll catch you soon. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. Always appreciate the time, Sebastian.
All right, guys, be good.
See you, Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people from ProView Networks. All right, when we come back, I'm going to reset this for you. If you're just joining us, some movement on the offensive coaching staff for Lobo football. I think it's significant. News breaking this morning, actually breaking probably right here, huh? We'll let you know what's going on with offensive coaching and what it means. It's next on the opening drive.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. MVP's bonus days are back for...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos.
I'm at AM 610, the sports animal.
So as we roll into the NFL weekend, we've been talking a lot of college football today. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, A-Marie, and Adrian. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. So the NFL weekend, Lamar Jackson, questionable to borderline doubtful. No Tua, Teddy Bridgewater, improbable, and so it's Skylar Thompson for the Dolphins. We're talking about the college football playoff, and the Aggie schedule came out yesterday. You were going to play the whole month of October on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and that includes the UTEP game. So 2 things in the Aggie schedule that jumped out. The UTEP game is now a conference game, which we knew, but it will be on a Wednesday in El Paso. And both the New Mexico and UTEP games are now, it used to be staggered, right? You get 1 at home, 1 on the road. They're both on the road next year, which means that staggering is probably over as long as you're in the same league, because they stagger, right? You go back and forth each year. So you're either going to get them both 1 year, and then they're going to get neither in the next. And that's how that is going to be. And then a little news this morning, Football Scoop put out a story that said Joe Selfo, who most recently has been coaching at Gardner-Webb, was going to be the new offensive line coach at New Mexico. That story is partially incorrect. Joe Selfo is going to join the New Mexico football staff, but as the tight ends coach. And Cameron Blankenship is coming over from UAB. with the new offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent, to be the offensive line coach at UNM. And so it's significant in a number of ways. It replaces, they're making, it feels like wholesale changes on the offensive staff, which I think is probably appropriate considering where they were. But Jason Lensmeyer is one of the coaches you knew and you've known for years, and he's a former Lobo, and he will not be back as offensive line coach at the University of New Mexico. So Cameron Blankenship will be the offensive line coach. Joe Selfo will be the tight ends coach, and that might be announced today, might be announced in a few days. I don't know when it'll be announced formally, but that's what I do know this morning, JJ.
You knew a lot of change was coming, especially offensively. You just had to do it. The program was going nowhere the last 2 seasons, so it's a combination of the coaching staff and then attacking the portal. And what relationships are those coaches able to bring with them? They continue to try to get players in right now where it's hard because you want to bring in guys that you can develop, but this team has to have immediate impact players on offense next season.
Yeah, I think that is, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal, and now we're going to see, I'm told that there's a lot of players coming in, rosters going to be flipped. What is it going to mean? So that's there for you this morning. I'm going to give you this news, and you're going to say, JJ, on the surface, a guy passing his physical really isn't a deal, is it? Right? A guy in a major league sport, in a big league sport, in a professional sport, who has agreed to a multi big $1 million worth of deal, passing a physical is a formality, correct? Except for this one. Carlos Correa evidently has passed his physical with the Twins to complete his $200 million deal. So you're like, well, whatever, Jeff. Do you remember Carlos Correa had big deals with both the Giants and the Mets, announced, agreed upon, $250 million, $315 million with the Mets, and he didn't pass his physical. So now the free agent shortstop has agreed to a 6-year contract for $200 million with the Twins, including a vesting option. It could push it up to 270, and he passed his physical. I don't know that I recall an instance like this, do you? Where a guy has had, where they've announced an agreement, announced a deal, where a fan base like the Giants and the Mets was so fired up that they're getting one of the best shortstops in the game, and it was pulled out from under them because twice he's failed his physical.
So the Twins are desperate in
Obviously.
this situation to overlook what
And to
San
hand out
Francisco
$200
and the New York Mets were not willing to overlook. And so he goes from, get it, he's getting paid a lot of money. But it's pretty much $150 million less than he had agreed upon with the Giants to return to the Twins.
The Giants deal was reported at 13, which is, by the way, 13 years for $350 million. I don't know what I'm doing in 13 minutes. Let alone 13. I want you to think 13 years ago. I want you to think back to 2009. January of 2009. What were you doing? What if you would have committed then to do that for 13 years? I guess it's $350 million, Jeff. I'd have done whatever you want me to do. Okay, fair
These
enough.
aren't 13-year contracts, Jeff.
This one is.
They're not 13-year
Baseball
contracts.
is 13 years.
They're 30-year contracts.
Oh, like Bobby Bonilla's thing?
These contracts are not 13 years.
Well,
They're
not
30.
They're not all extended like that.
Most will
But
be.
for these guys, you belong to them for 13 years. It's the rest of your career.
He's not going to be there for 13 years.
How, as a team, do you say, yep?
It's how you manage the books.
Boy, everybody's going to have Bobby Bonilla Day, right? July 1st, every year, Carlos Correa Day. He gets $17 million for the rest of his life. I mean,
that's the way that these contracts are structured. The dude's not going to be there for 13 years.
13 years.
And so when he steps
obviously,
away or you
thinks
trade him, you figure out the rest of that contract. And so these deals that are insane, you have to think about, like, these are like 30-year contracts because you're going to be paying that money out forever.
I was having this conversation with someone the other day. Alex Bregman's next contract. What do you think it looks like?
How old is he?
He's 26. So Correa just signed 6 years, $200 million. It could go up to 270. Does Alex get like a 7-year, $370 million deal?
So he will turn 29.
Okay.
This March.
All right. What are we looking at?
We got to
7 for 360.
figure out when his contract is up.
It's coming up like I think there's another year on it.
30. Oh yeah, he's in that.
Right? 7 for about 360, 370 million. Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, it's just insanity. All right, I got NFL news for you when you get back. Quarterback news. Commanders looking for a fresh start at offensive coordinator. They fired their guy. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient...
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Voss.
A lot of NFL news as we get ready for the playoffs, but it's teams who are not in the playoffs making a little bit of news as they go forward. Good morning to you. Merry Wednesday. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, and Adrian on 11123. It's the date today. Commanders fired their offensive coordinator, Scott Turner, because it was all his fault, working with Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz. I think that's not a surprise. This is encouraging news to me, though, this morning, JJ. The Lions basically have said that they're bringing back Jared Goff, that he's our starting quarterback. Their general manager said this morning, I think it's a lot easier to get worse at quarterback than to get better in this league. So I think what Jared has done this year, he captained the ship of a top 3 offense, and he was top 10 statistically in most passing categories. And again, you know how we approach the draft. We're never going to turn down a good football player. So if it's a football player we love, we're going to make sure every stone is turned. But I do think that Jared has proven to everybody that he is a starting quarterback for us. End quote. Brad Holmes, Lions general manager. I think that's the right move, man.
As they should.
Don't you?
Well earned. Doesn't turn over the ball that much. And the problem with the Lions was their secondary and giving up a lot of points. It wasn't their offense.
Lions were 1-6, ended 9-8. If I'm not mistaken, they ended 8-2, right?
Yep.
I think that's...
They're doing something right over there.
I think that's the obvious right move, don't you?
Different conversation if they had a chance at Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
Okay, but they don't. And so then you'd have a real conversation.
Why it's easy to say. Because I'm not saying that if CJ Stroud or Bryce Young are in my reach.
Where do the Lions pick? They have the Rams
6.
pick, right? They have the Rams pick at CJ Stroud and or Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is going to go earlier. CJ Stroud might be within their reach.
Houston, Indianapolis need quarterbacks.
Taking those 2.
And those 2 better be off the board.
Yeah, they should be.
And then if you're at 6, you're not going Will Levis. You're not going Stetson Bennett.
No. You're taking a stud and getting getting better in the defense.
Quality, good quarterback and builder and keep getting. You need to work on other things. Quarterback is not a priority with Detroit.
And
right
you know
now.
what they did is they developed some guys. So they got Jameson Williams, who I think is going to be really good next year. I'm talking about weapons now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the receiver Alabama who got hurt, who missed 3/4 of the year. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a legit 1B. I don't know if I think he's like a DeAndre Hopkins. What's my guy in Philadelphia that came from Tennessee?
A.J. Brown.
Thank you. Right. I don't know that I think he's that, but I think he's a legitimate go-to guy. Do you guys disagree? Do you think he's better than that?
He's good.
Right. DJ Chark developed into a really nice weapon for them.
Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift.
They got
a really good offensive line.
Now go get better on defense.
Their defensive line improved throughout the season. They just need to work on their secondary.
Yeah. Grady, good morning to you.
Silent C pronouncers the OG in the AM. What's happening?
Grady.
That's very funny.
Man, I gotta tell you, I'm a little down this morning. It's a little cloudy up in the village. The Taos Tigers came to our house and delivered the first L we've had up there since 2016. So it was tough going, but we'll bounce back. But that's not the reason for my call. I wanted to comment on the college football playoffs, and I have to express a little bit of disagreement. I don't think that it's been gotten right with these 4 teams because they've had to subjectively exclude a conference champion based upon whatever criteria, bad loss, good win, that conference is great, that conference is trash, all the on paper, on computer arguments. And to me, this go-around was pretty much the same way, because if you look at when these games actually are played, wow, things happen that aren't expected. No one expected Michigan. No one expected Ohio State to even compete with Georgia, and quite frankly, no one expected the 65-point destruction of TCU. So when you exclude a power conference champion based upon opinion, then to me that's not getting it right. Now, the 12 teams I do think is excessive, and 8 would have been perfect, but the 12 is basically the SEC people crying and saying, we're the best in the world, even though we've only had 2 good teams. Everybody else has been average the last 10 years. But
LSU was pretty good that year too.
Okay, so they've had a couple of good teams, and and I've heard people, well, TCU, they lost their conference championship game. We've had conference championship game losers get to the playoff all the time.
Yep.
We've had teams that didn't even make it to their conference championship game. Get it, so you know what? That to me, that doesn't make any sense. But it's the idea that if we're a conference champion, just like JJ said, you put an emphasis on it, and then you see what happens, and then wow, you know what? If you actually play these games and not just discuss them and analyze them and chart them and all this other stuff, if you actually play them out in the field, you might be surprised. And I know some of the national talking heads, they don't like to be wrong. They'll come up with excuses all the way through Sunday and Monday. But, it takes away from the actual sport of sports if you leave conference champions out. And I think you're going to get some really good teams, you're going to get some upsets, and you're going to get a true national champion with the expanded playoff.
Appreciate it. I would argue that within the four format, we very rarely have sat here the morning after Selection Sunday and argued that 5 should be in instead of 4. Very rarely. Yeah, and I don't really recall a time. Now, to your point, should conference champions be in? That's a whole other story. That's not how that system was set up. And so I think they got it right within the system that they were working. Now, if you want to tell me that conference champions should be in, then they didn't get it right because it wasn't set up to get it right.
Yeah, I understand that. I just think that there's the benefit of hindsight when after all is said and done. Wow, those are 4 great teams. Those are great games. Because that's all we had. We didn't have anybody else in there to even potentially have another good game. So is it? I think it is arguable that you didn't have teams in there that could have won it all because objectively they were kept out.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that, but I appreciate the argument. I'll agree to disagree with you on that. I think the system worked the way the system was set up to work. Now, you can argue that the system wasn't good, and I'll listen to that, and that's obviously what they decided, and that's why they've expanded it. I sit here today, I think 8 would have been good instead of 12, but we'll see. Maybe, I wasn't a fan of the extra wild card in baseball. It's turned out to be great for baseball, right? Wasn't a fan of the extra wild card going to 7 in football. It made the last weekend interesting. So let's see how those teams do. In the first year of the expanded football playoffs, the 7 seeds didn't do very well. Let's see how they do this year. In baseball, every once in a while, you do get the last wild card in that makes a move. So changes aren't permanent, but change is, right? And let's see where they go with this with 12. I think it's too much, but I think within the system they were working, they got it right. Now, if you want to tell me the system wasn't right, that's what they've decided. They've changed. So.
Well, I'll tell you, the system wasn't right.
That's what I'm hearing. All right, man.
Anyway, appreciate the time.
See you. So, how often have we sat here on the Monday after Selection Sunday and had really any serious debate about the teams who got it? Almost never, right?
No. I don't think that's the problem with the system. I think that
it wasn't inclusive enough.
It wasn't, and you have this many teams and conferences, and to his point, you're excluding conference champions, and it's also just there's a payout to it. There's a reason that Craig Thompson, before he left, really wanted to push this to 12.
Mm-hmm. Well, but he wanted the Mountain West to have a shot at inclusion.
Yeah, there's inclusion and the financial aspect of it. So you can't deny the money. But hopefully from that, though, you do get entertaining game stuff that draws you in for a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're not going to get me to a point where the system didn't work, because almost invariably it did. It did work the way it was set up to work. If your argument is the system wasn't good, okay, and obviously that's what they decided, and that's why they've expanded it. I can listen to that. But if the goal was to identify the top 4 teams, I think it identified the top 4 teams pretty much every time. And those 4 teams played off. And essentially, the week prior to that, or even the 2 weeks prior to that, the weeks that you're who's getting into conference championships, not even the week prior, but the games prior, and the conference championship games were de facto playoff games, weren't they? USC playing Utah in the Pac-12 championship was a playoff game for USC, right? They got knocked out. Now, Utah didn't advance, but USC got knocked out of the playoff in that last week, did they not?
They did.
Right? Clemson got knocked out the week before when they lost to whoever they lost to the week before. So, and that's one of those things that college football is trying really hard to hold on to.
But it's also, it didn't matter for Ohio State. So there's
that's
the
right.
imbalance in that.
That's right. That's the one. That's the one anomaly on that. Ohio State got knocked out. Their one loss was to number 2. That was their only loss. They won every other game. If Alabama would have only lost once to Georgia, they'd be in 2. 505-246-0610. We'll go some of your correspondence on the text line, 505-246-0610. The 377 Brewery hotline, 505-246-0610. You can call there. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Business owners, you get it. You understand the computers and network and remote access are all vital to how everything operates, and now there's hackers who threaten everything about your business. ABQ IT provides you state-of-the-art cybersecurity, and more business owners are realizing on a daily basis that's a necessary part of protecting your data. So ABQ IT created a business model that gives you peace of mind. You know your system is secure. They watch for any activity that's malicious. They protect your operation and keep it working efficiently, and they do it at one predictable monthly cost. So currently, you're probably getting several bills, right? You got one from the internet provider and one from a cybersecurity company, and another anytime you need to upgrade equipment. With ABQ IT, there's no hourly rate or labor billing, no hidden fees, no out-of-scope charges. Your rate's predictable. It doesn't change, and you are absolutely taken care of. Business owners get a free assessment from ABQ IT. Don't worry about computer problems again. ABQ IT let me give it to you again. ABQ-IT.com. That's ABQ-IT.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sports Animal.
I had a little news out of Louisville football land this morning. There'll be a new tight ends coach. Joe Cefalo will come in from Gardner Webb. There's a report out there this morning that's a little inaccurate. Said he's going to be the offensive line coach. He'll be the tight end coach. Cameron Blankenship coming over from UAB with the new offensive coordinator, Brian Vincent, will be the offensive line coach. You're on the text line saying, thank you, Coach Lenz. Sorry it didn't work out this time. Good luck in the future. Who replaces Jason Lensmeyer, a former Lobo, who had been the offensive line coach. Also on the text line this morning, Mud says Georgia blew out a former Jerry Kill coach team. Oh, by the way, Aggies and their fans still suck. Thank you for that contribution. Get some emails to you coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Bruce says, I can't wait until September 16th, Jeff. I want Lobo football to play the Aggies right now. Okay, do you?
Maybe in a couple weeks.
Give them a couple weeks. Get some guys on campus.
It's more signings.
Yeah, get some guys on campus. Tellis says on Lamar Jackson. We've been talking about Lamar Jackson. What would you do if you're Baltimore's front office? Do you just give him everything he wants? Do you franchise him? Do you? I mean, where is he slotted? We've had a lot of conversation on this. Jeff, the national talking heads who were on in place of the part-time show Saturday were screaming, "Don't give Jackson a penny. Tag him and prove him and make him prove himself." I agree 1,000,000%. I'm telling you, I think that's where that's going. I think he'll be franchise tagged.
Prove what?
Well, okay.
Prove what?
I don't know what proving.
Do you know
so.
it's?
Yeah.
There's nothing left to prove. It's won a playoff game. We get it. That's the next step for Lamar Jackson. We don't think he can win a playoff game. There's no reason to franchise tag him. You know he can be your quarterback or not. There's nothing to prove.
Kind of. I think you know he can be your quarterback, but I think he believes.
If you don't think he can win a playoff game.
Well, hold on. I think they believe he can win a playoff game. he believes he is a top 2 or 3 quarterback and should be paid thusly. They obviously do not. Now, they gave him, what'd you tell me, an offer with $130 million guaranteed, which is more than Josh Allen and Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson got guaranteed. He wants the $250 guaranteed. That's the prove it. Are you worth that market-setting contract? I think that's what would be the prove it. So there's 2 things there. I think he's already proven he's their quarterback. He should be their quarterback. Can he win a playoff game? I believe he can. I think they believe he can. Now, he probably isn't going to play this weekend, and they're probably going to get beat in the first round, right? But prove what? I think the prove it is, look, we think you're this. You think you're that. We kind of control this here. We're going to franchise tag you.
Which is fine, but there's nothing left to prove. Like, you want to win a playoff
I think that's
game.
right.
Yes. But you know Lamar Jackson can play in this league. Lamar Jackson can be an MVP in the NFL. There's nothing left to prove. Either once you pay him and find out what guaranteed level he wants to get to, or you move on.
But they've offered to pay him. They've offered to pay him.
Yeah, but now you have to go back to the table. If that was your only offer.
But doesn't he have to come back and talk to you?
But he also said he wasn't doing it in season. So I don't want to overreact to the narrative that is growing about the contract, because he said he's not going to focus on that in season.
He did say that. And so it stopped, and now here we are again.
So you have to go back there. We'll go back there.
We're going to be sitting
on
here
Monday morning because they'll lose.
We're going to sit here Monday. All right, you got a game tonight. Lobo women play at the Pit against Nevada. Lynn says breaking from the 5-hole, Jeff. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, 4 clubs have separated themselves in the Mountain West. The Lady Lobos are in the battle to be the best of the rest. If they want to hold that 5-hole and avoid a play-in game, a win tonight at Wise Pies versus Nevada is a must-win, right? It's from Lynn.
Yep.
So tonight's a must-win for the ladies.
Yeah.
All right, where's Nevada in the standings?
The Lobos, their ceiling wasn't as high this season. It's evident. You lose a player that's playing pro basketball overseas in De La Cerda and Tony Anderson. The expectations, they pick second, they're not that team. So what they need to do is what Lynn just said. Protect the Pit. You got to beat Nevada, Fresno State, Utah State, San Jose State, because UNLV, San Diego State, the class of the league right now. Colorado State's more talented than you are.
You got to win a few games on the road, don't you?
Yeah, but you protect the Pit. Like, you can't lose these games at home. So Nevada, Fresno State, along those lines, and then go get some of those games on the road.
No. All right, what time you hit the air tonight?
6:30.
JGL of Global Women's Basketball right here on the Sports Animal, UNM and Nevada, 6:30 pregame show from Albertsons Radio Row at Wise Pies, formerly, as she called it, from University Arena. Men's Mountain West last night. So this is the Lobos round of bye, but that's where they played Oral Roberts on Monday. San Diego State beat Nevada last night at the Ajas, 74-65. By the way, the spread was 9.5. It ended up at 9. Aztecs are 4-0 in league play. Next up, they host New Mexico. Nevada is 4-1, their first loss. Matt Bradley had 17 for San Diego State. Colorado State loses at home to Air Force, 85-74. Air Force went into Moby last night and beat Colorado State. That Fresno State team, who beat the Lobos last Tuesday in California, went over to San Jose, and San Jose State beat Fresno State last night, 74-64 in San Jose. So the Spartans are 3-2. Fresno State is 2-3 in league play. And Utah State got back on track and beat Wyoming 83-63 last night at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum in beautiful Logan, Utah. Utah State's 14-3 overall, 3-1 in Mountain West play. Cowboys are 0-4 in league play. Almost beat the Lobos, almost beat San Diego State, almost doesn't count. They almost have a win, but they don't. They are 0-4. They're going to beat someone. I'm just going to tell you, Wyoming is going to beat, whether it's a New Mexico, a San Diego State, a Boise, they're going to beat somebody, probably in Laramie, and it's going to show up as a rough loss in the metrics because people aren't going to understand it. But that, I mean,
there's nothing to understand. You can be a competitive team.
They're going to beat someone,
which Wyoming is.
Yeah.
numbers are terrible because they didn't beat anyone. They've won 5 games.
Yep. And
you have to rank it somehow.
No, I understand. Look, I understand.
And tonight, UNLV 1.5 point home favorite over Boise State. Another good one.
Yeah, it's another
and this is what's exciting about the Mountain West is there's opportunities to build your resume, become a postseason team, and get got.
And that's what this league is all about. And those top teams who think that they're in line for potential at-larges have just got to avoid some of that stuff. Saturday, you get a bunch of good matchups on Lobos and San Diego State. Highlight that, 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Boise State will be in Laramie. They're going to try to avoid that. Air Force at Fresno and Colorado State at UNLV on Saturday. So, yeah, this league's fun. This league's fun. All the national people are starting to realize it's a pretty good league. I don't know if it's a 2-big league, a 3-big league. 3's probably the number, right? 3's probably the number. And how you fighting to stay in that if you don't win 3, potentially 4 days in Vegas. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. We can talk some Lobo basketball as well. I think the key for them on Saturday, too, is the health of Javonte Johnson. And do we believe he's back?
I hope so.
I think they need him to defend.
Absolutely.
I really do. All right, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I have been telling you guys about 377 Brewery. We've been raving about it on the show because of their amazing brewery and their event space in the back room. A lot of you have been coming out to my pregame parties that I'm hosting 2 hours before the Lobo home games. And you're like, wait, there's an event space back of the brewery? And there is. It's beautiful. It's big. We've been holding our little pep rally pregames there. And this Friday, actually, it's not just for pregame Lobo games. It's also for stand-up comedy and live music. This Friday, January 13th at 7 p.m., your girl A-Marie is hosting a stand-up comedy show. It's only $10. You get tickets at the door. You don't want to miss out. It's a lot of great local comics from Karen Carson, Josh Fournier, and Zach Abeda. You can't miss out. They will have food and drink and a bartender back in the event space in general. So come out Friday, January 13th for some stand-up comedy, and we will resume our Lobo pre-games next week for 2 home games. But check them out in general. They're located on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson, or you can check them out at 377brewery.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Extend the sports animal.
Quite a night in the NBA last night. Another triple-double for Nikola Jokic. Only 14 points, 11 rebounds, 16 assists for the big dude. And then there was this. Oh, go ahead.
That's 2 nights ago.
Is that 2 nights ago? And then there was this. Donovan Mitchell returned to Utah. Former Jazz star who spent some quality years there, was traded in the offseason, made his first return to Utah with his new team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. He scored 46. His team lost. Is Utah the biggest surprise? 116-114, by the way. Utah's got to be the biggest surprise, right?
Utah is the best story in the NBA.
And they're not just a cute little team that's going to fade, are they? Maybe they are.
They're 21-20.
Okay.
So they're in 10th place, which should be the final play-in spot in the NBA. But what's amazing about it is they're a team of cast-offs that you got all these players because you traded Rudy Gobert and you traded Donovan Mitchell. And you're like, all right, well, we're looking ahead to the future. The Utah Jazz is a team of rotation players that will make your team great, becoming a really good team. Like Lauri Markkanen has been unbelievable. Like Lauri Markkanen, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley. They're teams that want these guys like crazy. The rotation players are good pieces, and they have a whole team of rotation players that's been really good at basketball this season. When people were looking at Utah going, yeah, that's the team. They're going to be in contention for the number 1 overall pick.
Markkanen had 25 and 16 last night in the win by Utah. So I love, I think one of my favorite things, period, is Elias Sports Bureau, because they come up with stuff that, how do you know that? Like, who works at Elias Sports Bureau and figures all this stuff out, right? But according to Elias Sports Bureau, Donovan Mitchell is the 7th player in the history of the NBA who scored 40 or more points in his first road game against his former team. So when he comes back against, and gosh, just think about the research on that. How many dudes have played for how many teams, and they go back against, I mean, you play for 5 former teams, and right?
Yeah.
Of those 7 players who have scored 40 or more in their first return back, he is just the second one to lose that game. I would never have ever even pretended to know the other one. It was Nick Van Exel in his first game back in Los Angeles against the Lakers. Old Nick Van Brick. So it was the 5th 40-point game of the season for Donovan Mitchell. He scored 71 a few weeks ago. I'm not lying. When I tell you in basketball, is 40 the new 30? Like, dudes are scoring 40 every night, right?
They are.
And it's just not 2 players. It's like what we were talking about earlier. It's so just spread out throughout the whole league. It's a great time for the NBA.
You're not wrong.
It's not your usual suspects either.
It kind of is, no? I mean, who's like? I mean, you know, Giannis is going to score 40 and 50.
I'm just saying team-wise too. Like, it's not just the Warriors.
Oh yeah. So you get a Donovan Mitchell with Cleveland, right? Yeah. Or not, it's not just Klay Thompson going for 56.
We're all throughout the league. It's awesome.
But remember when a dude went for 40?
It's huge.
We went, whoa, stop and take a look. Now dudes are going 40 every night. 50's kind of getting a glimpse. Like, dudes are going for 50 points a night. It's a different league, man. Is it? And I guess it's good. I guess that's entertaining.
It's a league right now that teams haven't hunkered down to playoff. And it's still going to be who plays defense to win a
January.
Yeah. You know, you hear it in hockey all the time, but I think it's true in every sport, and certainly in the NBA, it just doesn't get the credit. It's a different game from the preseason to the early regular season to the late regular season to the playoffs.
Look at the Celtics and Warriors last year after January. Then it was the whole. I mean, the Celtics are doing good right now, but I'm saying like they're in way better spots.
Well, you see lower scoring games in the NFL playoffs, right? I mean, typically it's not often you see a team scoring in the 40s, right? I mean, typically it's lower scoring games. It's what is it's things intensify. But I don't recall ever seeing on a regular basis just opening up my news and seeing dudes going for this on a regular basis.
It's different.
Yeah, it's been a different year. All right, Carl says Wyoming isn't beating anybody, Jeff, until they get healthy. They lost another guy last night. Wyoming finished that contest with 6 healthy scholarship players. They lost another guy last night?
Yeah, last night was bad.
Well, I saw they were getting pumped. I flipped over at halftime of the San Diego State game, and I'm like, when I wanted to see a game.
I don't know who they lost last night.
By the way, that San Diego State win last night over Nevada, I thought was significant. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Steve had his team playing really well.
Well, it's, I don't know, like Utah State got them. The way you're talking about Wyoming.
Yeah.
If you just look at last night's game, you're going to have that reaction of they're not beating anyone, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
What about the New Mexico San Diego State
Right,
stretch?
that's my point.
It's like a 1-point
That's
game,
my
a
point.
5-point game. That's Wyoming can build up to having one of those nights.
Well, they're going to get somebody up there, whether it's, I mean, they've already got San Diego State and New Mexico through there, but they still have to get Nevada to go through there, right? And they still have to get Boise State to go through there. UNLV still got to go up there. UNLV always struggles up there. And I think they're going to get somebody up there because they're playing really, really competitively.
There's place, they call it the Clune Gloom. They call it the Dome of Doom.
Mm.
There's places in this league that will get you.
AC is in on mud. He says, I don't always drink Dos Equis, but when I do, it's when I do. It's when Mud's bleepy teams lose. No wonder I'm always drunk.
They're Mud's teams?
Yeah. I don't always drink Dos Equis, but when I do,
That's funny.
it's when I do. It's when Mud's crappy teams lose. No wonder I'm always drunk.
But the only one Cherry Kool-Aid Lobo fan.
No, he's not. No. Oh, look, I think it's great that there's Cherry Kool-Aid Lobo fan, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's, we reference Mud a lot. And so
'Cause
there's
he's
probably
in
a lot of
every
people like, what? And so I'm saying he's the dude that only wants to be fed Cherry Kool-Aid
Mhm.
from everyone.
Yeah, and I think Mud's been wrong on a lot of stuff lately, and I've said that. And you can tell me, it's okay. You guys always tell me when I'm wrong, so I'm good with that too. All right, this morning, stuff that's gone down today. Carlos Correa has passed his physical with the Minnesota Twins. He is signing that 6-year, $200+ million deal. Lamar Jackson's status not good for this weekend. I think does it make a difference if Lamar Jackson plays this weekend against the Bengals? Does it make you feel any different about that game? Any? Because it doesn't to me.
We just don't know what we're getting out of Lamar Jackson. If he's good enough to play, it does. Like, I will say that the Ravens have a chance, even with not 100% Lamar Jackson. But without him, I don't think they have a chance at all in that game against Cincinnati. And to kind of circle back to the Lamar Jackson conversation, where, the mindset is, well, he's got to prove it. He needs to be on a franchise tag to prove it. No, the franchise tags are for Daniel Jones and Geno Smith. Or not, if you want Lamar Jackson to be your quarterback at this point in time. And the best thing for them, if they trust him, is to get a deal done. And so hey, the next 5 years, this is what we have. If you can't get a deal done, you don't want to up the guarantee, then you move on.
I think they agree with you. They're just not going to break the market to get a deal done. I think you agree, they agree, Lamar agrees. What they don't agree upon is the numbers and the guarantee, right? I think Lamar wants to be there, or at least he did. I think he still does.
If you think that Lamar Jackson is your quarterback
Yeah.
for 5 years, who cares if it's $200 million guaranteed
Well, they do.
or not?
They do.
Because you're going to pay him anyway if he's there for 5 years, all that money.
Yeah, but
if you don't believe him, then you don't sign him.
I'm not sure I'm totally on board with that.
Because if you don't think he's going to be your quarterback for 5 years,
Yeah.
you don't give him a contract regardless of how much guaranteed money is in there or not. Because if you're like, oh, this dude for 5 years, we believe he's going to lead our franchise, you're going to win some playoffs games, he's going to give us a chance to compete for championship, who cares if it's $130 million guaranteed or $200 million guaranteed?
They do. I mean, and they do.
Because if he's there for the whole contract, you're giving him the money
Yeah,
anyway.
you're going to give them the money anyway, and that's what you're hoping. That's what you're hoping. But that's how it's set up to protect the team, and they're going to take advantage of the way it's set up to protect the team. I see what you're saying. If you're in for 5 years, your intent is, but are you doing business on hope and intent?
Well, because if it be hope and intent, it's a yes or no.
Right, but if it doesn't,
Dude's won an NFL MVP.
Yeah, I think they're sold on him. They want him. They want him. Yeah. He missed 5 games this year? How many games last year? What's his availability? How durable is he? And can he get you that point? You're saying what are the questions that need to be answered? Can he win a playoff game? He's got to be healthy to win a playoff game. He hasn't yet won a playoff game. I think everybody agrees that everybody is best served by them all coming together on this. I just my only issue on it, I'm not putting the whole blame on the franchise. I'm not. It seems to me they've offered a pretty fair deal. Now they're going to go back to the table and figure out where they are on this. Is it harder, do you think, to deal with an agent or deal with the individual player? Because everybody else has a representative, right? Lamar's representing himself. So is it better? Better's not right. Do you think, as an organization, you're used to sitting down with an agent, and probably you've worked with that agent before, they've worked with you, you know where you are, the agent understands the process, where the player's like, yeah, man, there ain't no process. This is what I want. Give me what I want, right? I'm going to guess from a franchise perspective, it's probably, well, certainly more traditional, but it feels more like a negotiation. All right, we'll give you this. We'll give you, and the player's probably going, no, man, here's what I want. Right?
What if Lamar Jackson doesn't want to play for the Ravens?
Okay,
that's my thing.
And that's
I think he
possible,
wants
too.
to go somewhere else.
What do you
But
think
he
he wants to
doesn't
go? And
have
that's
that
possible.
power. Right?
I know. I'm just saying.
Both of those could be true. Both of those things.
Right.
Can be
I'm
true.
just saying. I think he wants to go somewhere else.
I do.
What makes you think that?
Lamar in Miami would be amazing.
Yeah, I think I thought Miami or
Vegas.
That's been my number one. I think that's a big reason why the payment hasn't gone down yet.
Okay, Vegas. But you have to have him signed to be able to move him without a dead cap hit.
Right.
I mean, it's not like the NBA where you just do a sign and trade.
Right.
Sign and trade. Yeah, and so Baltimore's not just going to let him walk and get nothing for it. So what are we doing? But so you think he wants out?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think that? Just because he hasn't signed the deal? Because he didn't do a deal?
Nothing's happened.
Okay.
And I think, I mean, they signed Raekwon Smith and paid him, and who does he have on the Ravens that are helping him?
Well, he's never had great weapons except for the tight
Mark
end.
Andrews, yeah.
So he would be great in Miami and Vegas, right? I mean, he'd be ideal. There's your plug and play. It feels like
Maybe Tampa, anywhere down there.
maybe Tampa.
Carolina, anywhere.
Carolina doesn't have quite the roster.
No,
I
they don't.
think that Vegas and
I'm saying
and
I think
Miami
it
do.
might be more appealing to him to go to a team with maybe some big names, offensive
What about
weapons.
Seattle?
Someone who will pay him.
What about Seattle?
He can't get there though.
Can't get
right
there.
now.
That's my well.
And no, that's my only. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't get anywhere
Unless
because they're not going to release him.
yeah, and you.
Can you
Even if you
franchise
don't-
a guy and then
Draft
trade him? Can you franchise a guy and
Ooh,
trade
I
him?
don't know.
Actually, that's a really good question.
So if I franchise this guy, so now I've got a contract for this year. If he signs it, can I trade him?
They cannot be traded. In order for the player to be traded, they would have to be on a contract and to be put
So
on
they
the
have to
active
sign a
roster.
contract. Yeah. And then
Since a franchise player is technically a free agent that is bound by the original team, they are not
so
considered
the
a
answer to
signed
that is
player.
no. So can you if they sign him to a long-term deal and then trade him like in the NBA, a sign and
could.
trade, do they get hit with a big dead cap hit though?
They take some hit from it, and to me, the fair question is Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. I get it, but if we're going through the NFL, and if you want to keep telling me, man, there's Patrick Mahomes, there's Josh Allen, there's Joe Burrow, so should everyone just give up at quarterback? Like, yes, those guys are elite, the best of the best.
Mhm.
But I'm also looking at, people just a year ago were telling me Jalen Hurts couldn't play. And now he's not only has a Heisman Trophy winner, but they brought in A.J. Brown. Baltimore has never done that for Lamar
100%,
Jackson. Mark
100%.
Andrews is really good.
Yep.
This is your opportunity. He's 26 years old. He just turned 26 last week.
So he's going into his prime.
If you sign him, like give him $200 million guaranteed, you know, all right, we're locked in. Start investing around him.
Do you have enough at that point to invest to the point where you want?
Okay. Yes, you do. Because you don't pay anyone else.
Well, but you're saying you got to start paying people.
You have to just pay one other person.
That's it?
Yeah, one legitimate wide
How good's
receiver.
your line right now? This is a team that was supposed to run the ball, that couldn't run the ball.
That's tough when you Anthony Brown.
But they weren't running the ball that great beforehand. I mean, they were okay.
See, I'm more worried about the fact that you run J.K. Dobbins and stuff out there, and he can't play every other week.
Yeah, that's a fair, legitimate.
Like to me,
concern.
it's right there.
Yeah.
You got a guy that will give you a chance.
I think everybody's saying the same thing, except for you're just saying give him whatever he wants, and they're saying I'm not giving him whatever he wants. I'm going to give him something reasonable that the team feels reasonable. Continue on the other side. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Sound.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
The Sports Animal.
Opening drive. Where are we with Lamar? All right, so you think Lamar may go to somewhere else? How does he get
there?
Somewhere else. How does he get somewhere else? And where would that be? All right, going in here's a couple of as we come towards the close today. Couple of items that happened this morning. Lobo football, JJ. Couple of changes on the offensive coaching staff. Jason Lensmeyer will not return as the offensive line coach. Cameron Blankenship is coming over from UAB with the new offensive coordinator, Bryant Vincent. He will be the offensive line coach, and Joe Cefalo is going to be the new tight ends coach. He comes over from Gardner Webb, who went to the FCS playoffs last year. And then I'm told quite a bit of shuffling on the roster on the offensive side, and there's quite a bit of excitement over there. It will have a new look, a new feel, and it needs to on Lobo offense.
Big couple weeks. See if they can get some more players in here. I know they had a big recruiting weekend last weekend. Get some of those guys signed, sealed, and delivered in for spring ball. And it's a rough place to be in when you have a new coordinator. You're going to bring in new players. You want to give them some time. There's no time for this offense. You got to produce right away next season.
All right. This broke about 5 minutes ago. Damar Hamlin discharged from the hospital in Buffalo. 9 days. Just about 9 days. 2 different hospitals, 2 different cities. He was discharged from Buffalo General Medical Center this morning. It's great news, huh? He joined his parents.
Fantastic news.
Yep. His 7-year-old brother.
Aw.
Demir is his name. At the hospital Tuesday. And he's out. This is, I mean, this is insane. I was thinking back, it's funny.
So is he discharged from the hospital?
Yeah.
He's still going to be taking it easy.
I would hope so.
But
I think he's on IR.
he's going to be in that stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, I would
and if they put him out, let him walk out there with with the captains for the coin flip or something, whatever they do, that might register on the Richter scale. The response from that stadium.
Yeah, you run him out there. I mean, if he probably wants to be there, and you bring him out. So I don't know if you keep him up in a suite and let him wave. I mean, I don't know what his what he's ready for. The medical team at Buffalo General now has been tasked with identifying the causes of what happened, treat any pathology that might be found, as well as plan for his recovery. He doesn't play again, does he? Chris Pronger, when Chris Pronger went down in hockey years ago, when he took the puck to the chest, his heart stopped on the ice. Yeah, I want to say he had a 14-year career. That didn't end it.
I think maybe he'll see what the results were, like what caused. I think they need to find out more what happened before he makes that decision, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, 24 years old. All I know is the man's alive and he's out of the hospital, and I think that's great news. So that just came down literally about 5-6 minutes ago. Damar Hamlin been discharged from the hospital, and I think that is insanely good news. All right, what do I get tonight? I get one Mountain West game? Is that what I get? What's my Mountain West game?
Boise State at UNLV on the men's side.
That's actually really good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who you like? How much Boise State have you looked at?
Boise State is right there with Nevada. Utah, like
New Mexico?
New Mexico now.
I mean, do you think New Mexico is above that?
It's like
Who's the
Yahtzee.
second best team in the Mountain West?
I still think it's New Mexico.
I do too, I think. I'm not going to lie, though. UNLV was nice.
Yeah.
Looking at them in person,
Yeah.
the length,
Yes.
the speed, the athleticism, the way they played defensively interiorly was impressive to me. The way they played defensively on the perimeter was probably even more impressive to me. They have athletes. Now, look, I've watched UNLV teams over the years be really undisciplined, and it feels like Kevin Kugler's got this thing figured out, that coaching staff somewhat has it reeled in. I watched Nevada last night. I haven't seen a ton of Boise State. I've seen enough of Utah State to think that they're good, but I think they're I think New Mexico's better than them. I think. UNLV's nice, man.
It's the combination of eye test and results.
Right?
What we're dealing with right now. And Lobos came back down to earth a little bit.
Yep.
Still trust in them overall. But that, shows you that these teams, like what they're doing, the coaching and players in this league right now, it's fantastic.
How can New Mexico beat San Diego State on Saturday? Well, we'll get into that tomorrow. Woo! Is that a fair?
That's
Is
That's
that
a
fair?
setup for
I think
tomorrow.
that'll be the liner.
Yeah, I mean, how do they beat
Ooh,
San Diego State?
good job.
What do they have to do? How do they go in there? Thanks to Sebastian Noel for being with us today. Voice of the People. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Coward follows that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock. Then JJ takes over the mic with Nikki Heckroth-Lobato from the pit. 6:30, Lobo women's basketball against Nevada. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, terrific work. A. Marie, great as always.
Thank you.
I know it's a big day for you.
Huge day.
Have a great call. Be good to each other. Please be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.